everyone. So as I mentioned on my email, I've been asked to make a short video on breathing, which I think is a really good idea because actually the way we learn to breathe in Pilates is really beneficial for our lungs and our breathing in general, in terms of really getting the breath down into the bottom of the lungs, the sides of the lungs, and fully oxygenating through the lungs. What we do in Pilates is what we call thoracic breathing or lateral breathing. So it's about trying to really expand the ribs out to the side. So we can just go through the technique first. There's a couple of do's and don'ts. So with this thoracic breathing, we are not breathing up into the shoulders. We're not particularly breathing down into the belly. That has its own benefits. But for this, we're really trying to get more of that sideways movement of the rib cage, like a pair of bellows, is probably the best way to describe it. So a way to help you find that and feel that is you can wrap a band or a scarf around your rib cage, and it wants to go sort of over the bottom of the shoulder blades roughly, and then it would just cross, you would just cross it lightly, sort of under the bust, under the chest, there. So if you can see where I've got that band, right around my ribs. If you don't have a band, you can just put your hands around your ribs. The benefit of using a band or a scarf is that you can also feel your back. And the lungs, the majority of the lung tissue is actually in the back of the body, the back part of the body. So breathing into the back part of the ribs is really, really helpful. So once we're sitting like this or standing and you've got something around your ribs, then we start to take our breaths, and about 10 breaths would be good, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So we would take a breath here, and I want you to try and see what my rib cage is doing. So I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. And I can give the band a little tug as I breathe out, just to get that feeling of the ribs closing again. So I'm going to breathe in, the ribs open, and breathe out. And what I want to feel as I'm breathing in is that I'm breathing into all parts of the band, so forwards, to the sides, and to the back. So if we think of the ribs more like a basket, that basket is opening, widening, and then relaxing. And just watch. Hopefully you can see that my shoulders aren't moving. I'm sending the breath sideways, and this does take practice. Obviously I've had lots of practice, but the practice is so beneficial to us right now, particularly in really just taking some time to fully breathe into the lungs. So we'll just do 3 or 4 more. Nice deep breaths. So that is our thoracic breathing, the way we tend to breathe with our Pilates exercises. Now there's something else we can do here. So with that breath, we're breathing in and we're feeling the ribs expand. We're breathing out and we're feeling the ribs contract back in. With this next exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, let the ribs expand. And as we breathe out, we're going to try and keep those ribs open for as long as possible. So as we're breathing out, we're trying to keep the ribs open, keep the ribs open, keep the ribs open, and then eventually they'll come back down. What that will do is help to stretch the little muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles, and if we can breathe into those and stretch those, then again that helps us get more of that lateral breathing going. So we're going to give that a go. When you're holding the band, or whether you've got your hands around there, just make sure that you're not hunching those shoulders to start with. So try and be as relaxed through the shoulders as you can. So we're going to take a deep breath into those ribs. Breathe out and try and hold the ribs open. So as you're breathing out, it's almost like you're still trying to push the ribs into the band. Again, it takes a little practice, so don't worry if it feels like it's not happening. The fact that you're trying to do it will be giving you some benefits. So we're going to breathe again into the band. Breathe out, try and hold those ribs open. Then relax the ribs. Let's do 3 more of these. So breathing in. Breathing out. Relax everything before you breathe in again, nice and wide. Breathing out. Keeping those ribs open as long as you can. Then relaxing, and let's do 1 more. So breathing in nice and wide to those ribs. And breathing out. So if you can see, try to hold them open. And eventually they relax back in. So there's another position we can do this in. And as I said earlier, most of the lung tissue is in the back of the body. So actually breathing into this area is really beneficial, and one of the ways we can do that quite easily is in child's pose. And I had a lovely email from one of my clients who is pretty sure she has been suffering from the coronavirus and really, feeling quite poorly. But when she started to feel better, she told me that she went into this position and did the breathing that we do in class, where we take it round to each side. And she said it really, really helped, and that it would be great if I could include that on this video, because she feels it could benefit other people. Obviously you don't have to wait till you're poorly. This is great to do for just really getting into those lungs and into each lung at a time. But we can start just down in the centre. If you do find child's pose difficult, you can put a cushion or a block or something under your bottom if you find it hard to bend the knees that much. You know the adjustments we often make in class. So we can start, and again, if you can't get the head all the way down, you can just balance the head on the hands. This is really about the breathing, so I'm much more interested in you just being comfortable in the position than getting a particular stretch in the back. So what we want to think about here is really breathing into those lungs. And sometimes I say, imagine you've got gills, fish gills in your back, and you're breathing into those gills. So your lungs are sitting at the back of the body here. And we can take a deep breath into that area. And out. So we're going to do 5 here. We're going to breathe in deeply into the back of the ribs. And out. And again, you want to feel those ribs expanding through the back. So 2 more in this position. Breathe in deeply. And breathe out. And breathe in deeply. And breathe out. Now we can focus on 1 lung at a time. So if we walk our hands around to the right a little bit and our head, we're going to focus on breathing into this left side. So we're going to take a deep breath in, still resting the head down, and breathe out. Think of breathing into the left side of the ribs, the left lung. Deep breath in and out. long breath out. Really send all of your attention into that left side. Can you visualize that left lung expanding? Can you visualize the left rib cage expanding? And let's do one more. If you just come back to the center for a moment now and breathe into both sides, you may well feel that that left side is feeling different and more open. So now if we go around to the left, we're going to breathe into the right side. So the right ribs, the right lung, breathing in deeply and out. And breathing in deeply. And out. Imagine you're pushing those ribs out to the right. And expanding the right lung into the back. And one more. Come back to the center now. Just take a breath into both sides of the ribs, both lungs. Always roll up slowly, bringing the head up last. So there's a little practice you could do. You could do that daily. Because the other benefit you're going to get from that is that, as we know, deep breathing is very calming. So if you're finding this whole situation a little bit stressful, a little bit worrying, you're going to get two benefits from that. You're going to be getting some great air, oxygen into the lungs. You're going to be also just calming the whole nervous system, because you will probably find when you come up from your breathing, you just feel a little bit more relaxed. So yeah, I hope you find that helpful.